What's good, everyone? This is your host, TARODCAST, and you are now tuned into TARODCAST. For all of the brand new listeners out there listening to our show for the very first time, welcome. And for all of the returning listeners coming back for another weekly dose of TARODCAST awesomeness, welcome back. Now at TARODCAST, you can take everything we say with a grain of salt. We simply just want to add some flavor to your meal. So if we are doing that, then we are doing our job. Today's episode comes from a place of observance because we have recently added a new member to our family, and there is a lot of things that we are learning based on welcoming this new member into our home. And so without further ado, today's episode topic is Cat Daddy. This is TARODCAST. Let's get it. Y'all, how are you doing? This is TARODCAST, and I'm your host, TARODCAST, and I hope that everybody had a very, very good Thanksgiving. I know I did. And for those who, especially this year alone, for those of you who have lost someone and this year's holiday season is a little bit bittersweet, it's a little bit hard. You know, my heart definitely goes out to you. And I know that as time continues to move forward, things won't necessarily heal, but you will begin to find yourself more and more at peace with things that are happening, things that take our loved ones away. And I hope that as you go forward through your process, you will continue to remember that and to keep that information, to keep that knowledge, to keep just that feeling close to you. And, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy for any of us. And with this year being the way that it is, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening, both, you know, just here in each and every one of our homes regarding people that we know, people that we don't know. Like, everybody is going through something specific, and it feels like this is the year where everything has come to a head. And so I just want to say that my heart goes out to everyone who has lost someone during this time and is going through a holiday season without some of those cherished people that they're used to having. So just know that I love you, and I hope that as time continues to move forward, you will continue to find peace throughout these times. So today's episode is called Cat Daddy for a reason, because we have added a baby kitten into our household, and I'm going to talk about her because I am learning some things, not just about her, but about just life in general. And this is the podcast to talk about those things. And so before we get into those items, as you already know, we're going to take care of our house-cleeping details and then get right into it. So if you would like to take our show with you on the go, just know that we are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Podchaser, Castbox, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and YouTube. TARODCAST is on Throne. Throne is a free live messaging application that allows us here at TARODCAST to exclusively reach our listeners. Make sure to sign up if you'd like to keep the conversations going after the episode. If you're looking for natural oils for ultimate hydration and care for your hair and skin, hit up The Resilient Lotus at www.theresilientlotus.com. And also you can use the promo code TARODCAST for a discount on your purchase. Also, if you are a lover of authentic chunky salsas and oh so wonderful birria tacos, make sure to reach out to Morenitas Salsitas. You can place your order at www.crtn-t.com/Morenitas-Salsitas. And last but not least, if you are in the market for an affordable graphic designer to create your next logo, flyer, album cover, or animated video, check out at Rose Graphism on Instagram. As always, all of this information will be found in our episode notes. All right, y'all. So I want to talk about my baby kitten, my 3-month-old baby kitten, and her name is Jingle. She was named by my daughter, my 5-year-old daughter, because there's a Christmas movie that's out right now called Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey. And I highly recommend watching that. That is an excellent movie. I love it. The songs are stuck in my head. I cannot get enough of this movie. But we introduced a 3-month-old baby kitten into our house, and I want to talk a little bit about that journey, because I've never been a pet owner before this. I've always considered other people's pets as my pets. Like my grandmother had a dog named Ebony, and Ebony was one of my best friends. Like I used to love going to my grandmother's house to go and play with Ebony. Ebony was so nice. She was cheerful. She was just the sweetest dog that anybody could ask for. And there was another dog that was also very close to me in my life, and her name was Sandy. She was my grandfather's next door neighbor's dog. And Sandy, oh my goodness, I felt like life was complete whenever I was with Sandy, because whenever I went to my grandfather's neighbor's house, she always had snacks. She always had candy. She had like a little room, because she was a grandmother. She had grandkids and all that. So she had all the sweets and all the Ritz crackers and all that. And it's just like Sandy would just lay on me, and I would just pet her, and she would follow me around, and she was the cutest little cocker spaniel. And it was always such a good time whenever I was around Sandy, as well as Ebony. And so for me, I've those are the 2 dogs in my life that actually meant something to me. Those were the 2 animals that actually meant something to me when I was coming up. And so, even though they weren't mine, I felt like they were mine. And so, just thinking about the impact of, animals on my life. I'm not necessarily an animal rights activist. I've said this in previous shows, but I do love animals. And for me, I have a soft spot for animals. And when it came to the idea of introducing an animal into our home, there were a couple that we actually went through, because we looked at the pros and cons of each. We looked at dogs, and right now dogs are they're going to be a lot of work, which we aren't really trying to put in right now. Not to say that those who have dogs, are doing a whole lot extra. It's just like, we just don't feel like doing everything that comes with, just maintaining a dog. And that's okay, because the next animal that we considered, and before I go further, we were thinking about animals because of this. Our daughter is getting older, and she wants to start, taking care of things. She wants to, be able to have a role in the upbringing of something, whether it's another human, which we are not going to get into, or an animal. So we were like, we can go and look at an animal to give to my daughter, so that way she has something that she can take care of. So, we looked into gerbils and hamsters, and this was going to be my initial my initial decision as far as, and like start small. Let's see if she maintains the interest level in taking care of this animal. But one thing that I learned is that when it came to coming to this decision, my wife, she was more so, she had her heart set on a kitten, and she didn't tell me until afterwards. But as they were, looking at different animals that we could potentially either purchase or adopt, she started relaying a lot of things about kittens to my daughter to help influence her decision on bringing a kitten home. And it was funny because I was, just as we were having these conversations within the last couple of weeks, I was noticing that my daughter kept talking more and more about cats and kittens. And in my head, I was like, all right, I thought we were starting small, but there was some plotting, there was some planning, there was some scheming going on that I didn't know about. And I was like, my daughter very strangely has her heart set on a cat. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. So, I gave in. I started, doing a lot of research on cats and kittens, and, just figuring out the best way to get ready for a cat, to get ready for a kitten, to, just the different things that we needed in order to make our house comfortable for a kitten. And so, watching a lot of YouTube videos, reading a lot of articles, just doing a lot of looking around. And I remember my wife, she actually found a picture of a kitten from an adoption agency here in Oklahoma called the Bella Foundation. And she sent me the picture of the kitten that we would be adopting. And I looked at the picture and I realized that I instantly fell in love. It was one of those things that I didn't know that I needed that feeling until it actually hit me. And so just looking at the picture of this little baby kitten, I was just like, wow, this is really, like, I see why, the what was it, the Sarah McLaughlin, is that her name? Sarah McLaughlin. If I'm getting that wrong, y'all can correct me later. But those animal commercials, in the arms of the angel, all that. Like I was picturing those animals, and I was just like, oh my God, looking at this kitten, I'm like, she's the one. So, we took a trip to the adoption agency, a couple days ago, and we set the appointment and all that, and we went and we saw her. Now, the crazy thing is, we did not see her at first because she was actually behind all the other cats. All the other cats were, like sitting down, some were running around, some were climbing, some were perched, some were outside eating and, different things like that. She was literally behind like two other cats, and she did not want to be touched at all. As a matter of fact, she would run away every time we tried to approach her. And she wanted to just be alone. She wanted to just have her own space. And I was like, this is very interesting, because, just looking at this behavior, I'm like, okay, well, she is, she's nervous, she's scared, she doesn't know what's happening. I mean, she's 3 months old. Her birthday is somewhere either on or around August 5th. And so, just watching her behavior, I was just like, okay, well, this is, if we choose her, we're going to, it's going to take some adjustment. And, while we were there, my daughter was, she was petting different cats and talking to them and things like that. And, me and my wife were just trying to, chase down the cat that we saw. And so, after some time, we were able to, go ahead and get her. We got her put in a carrier, and, we paid the adoption fee, and we carried her out and we adopted her. And, when we brought her home, the car ride there, she's a baby kitten. She doesn't know what's happening. She's in this strange place. She's in the car. She doesn't know where she's going. It's all very nerve wracking for her, and understandably so, because, she's being taken out of this high energy area filled with a whole bunch of other cats, and she's being taken somewhere to a completely new environment. So she doesn't know where she's going or what's happening at all. But we bring her home. And one of the first things that she does is she finds a hiding place. And that hiding place is under my daughter's bed. And just thinking about where she started, she was hiding. When we first saw her, she was hiding. And so that was her first instinct, was to run and hide, because she's in a completely new environment. She doesn't know where she is or what's even happening. So she runs, she hides. And, with the research and things that we were doing, it's like, sometimes you have to get acclimated with a new environment. You have to let the cat, you have to let the animal, whatever it is you bring into your home, you have to let it get acclimated to your environment, because it's completely new set of smells, new set of energy, new set of, items, whatever it is you have around your home. And we bought a cat tower, we got toys and things like that. So, the home is ready for this baby kitten. It's ready for Jingle. And so now we just have to let her get used to it. We have to let her come out of her shell. And, slowly but surely, she began to come out. And it still had some reluctance to it, because I'm thinking about that first day, and the fact that, she barely wanted to be touched, just things like that, because, she did not know where she was. And it's very easy to understand, because, again, day one, this kitten doesn't know what's going on. And she doesn't understand that we are her people now. We are her humans. We are her family. And so, the first night I remember, she slept under my daughter's bed, and my daughter is terrified of fast moving things. And so she did not want anything to do with Jingle, because she moved really fast and she was always hiding and she didn't know where she was. So, I slept in my daughter's room with Jingle under the bed. And when I woke up that following morning, she was still under the bed. And it was the most hilarious thing. But, over the course of the next couple of days, we started seeing some changes in her behavior. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm not only going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about how this also applies, and how there are some real life things that I was able to pull just from the last couple of days spending time with Jingle, our kitten. So I hope you all have your water close by. Go ahead and take a swig, and we will be right back. This is TARODCAST. Yo, what's good, everyone? This is your host of TARODCAST, Tarod Rashawn, and I just want to welcome you to the commercial break. Now, you already know what time it is. It's hydration time. Get some high-quality H2O in your system now. Got a few things I'd like to go over. First, to all of our new and returning listeners, thank you so much for your ear and your time. To all of our Patreon supporters, I just want you to know that we are not able to do this without your direct support. So the biggest, dopest TARODCAST thank you goes out to you. you. If you're listening in and you're thinking about becoming part of the TARODCAST Patreon family, we'd love to have you. You can find us at www.patreon.com/TARODCAST. Now on Patreon, we have 3 tiers of support: a $2 tier, a $3 tier, and lastly, a $6 tier. Each tier comes with its own set of unique perks, so if you find one that fits you, sign up. For us, the main thing is keeping our subscription prices affordable. We know that you work hard for your money, and if you choose to support TARODCAST this way, we truly want to make it worth your time. To find out more about our Patreon and the perks with each tier, visit www.patreon.com/TARODCAST. We've got it all laid out for you. Also, we've got a merchandise store. Pick up some tees, hoodies, leggings, and more at forevercertain.redbubble.com. All proceeds go right back into the TARODCAST podcast and allow us to keep making high quality content for people just like you. For our listeners out there who would like to support us in a non-monetary way, we'd love that too. Share our show with people you know. Also, share us on your social media. And if your favorite TARODCAST streaming service allows you to rate and review our show and you're loving what you're hearing, take some time and leave us a 5-star review. Ratings and reviews are what set us apart from other podcasts, and also helps us to recommend our podcast to other listeners we otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to reach. Lastly, if you'd like to reach out to us directly, email us at TARODCAST@CRTN-T.com. That's TARODCAST@CRTN-T.com. All of this information can always be found in our episode notes, so make sure to check there if you forget any of the information we just went over. Once again, thank you all so much, and let's get back to the program. All right, y'all. Welcome back to TARODCAST. Again, I'm your host, and we are going to dive into the next segment of our show. So, when it comes to our kitten staying with us that very first night, I can understandably imagine what could have been going through her tiny little kitten mind, because, again, her first instinct was to run and hide. She didn't know what was going on. But over the next couple of days, we started to see her emerge. And when I say emerge, I mean not just literally from under the bed, but we began to see her personality emerge as well. And just looking at this little animal, and starting to see and starting to develop the bonds of trust with this kitten, it really made me think, because, when she finally started coming out, we realized that this little kitten here she is so full of love. Like, she loves attention. She loves being pet. She loves snuggling. And, I never thought myself to be someone who would allow, animals to lay in the bed with them, when you go to sleep. But I'm making a very special exception for Jingle, our kitten, because she is so sweet. And the thing is, she loves to curl up either on you or next to you, so she can feel your body heat. And it is the cutest thing. And now I'm at a point where I understand people who have animals always taking pictures of their animals, because they are the cutest things, and just to watch them and to experience them, it's awesome, to be honest. And just thinking about this kitten of ours, and realizing that she is a part of our family now, and I think that she is also realizing it as well. There is a lot more of her personality that is emerging and coming out, and she is extremely playful. She is, extremely energetic, but at the same time, she can be really laid back, and she can be really chill, and she loves exploring things, and she's the sweetest cat. She really is. And, we're working on, training her in the different ways in which cats can be trained, to respond to their name, to, go to their crate, just things like that, things that are necessities. And I love the fact that, she is taking very well to it. And, just thinking about the environment that we've created for this kitten, it really makes me, just thankful for the research that we all did in order to create spaces for Jingle that would allow her to just exercise all of her, kitten-like greatness. And it's I don't know, just thinking about the fact that, we welcomed her in, and now we are her humans. She cannot stop, being pet. She will walk up and literally like demand my hand to pet her. And it's the cutest thing because I pet her, and then she goes about her merry little way, just exploring or playing or scratching, and oh goodness. And I remember after the first night, cause she did not use the bathroom at all. And so she went into a corner, and she basically went and pooped on the floor. And I'm like, okay, well, learning experience. She likes that corner over there, so let's move the litter box over there. And lo and behold, she started going in her litter box in that same spot. So I'm like, you know what? I learned something from that. Watch your cat. They will tell you everything that you need to know about them. And as long as you follow suit, life will be good. And so, yeah, she is one of these, cats who love enclosed spaces. It makes her feel safe. It makes her feel protected, especially if it's warm. And so, just providing avenues where she can just engage in that behavior and engage in that type of setting, because for her, she loves being under a blanket. If you create like a little blanket cave, she will be in there and she will not leave. And honestly, when I was a kid, I used to do that myself, create little blanket caves on the couch, and I'd have my little toys and action figures and Pokemon, sitting in there, and we'd be all watching a movie. Like, if I had Jingle at that time, my life would have been complete, because that is it's what I wanted. It gave me comfort. So to even see that it's even giving, sorry about that, to see that it's even getting this cat comfort, it is something that for me, it is, I don't know, it really warms my heart. And so, with that being said, now I have to, get into the human application of all of this, because, watching this kitten of ours, just emerge, and to see her personality emerge, and to see that level of trust, just be developed, within the last couple of days, to where, she is all over all of us, jumping in our lap, just taking our hands hostage, all of that. I have to talk about this, because this is something that it really stuck out to me. And, it's the environment. It's the environment that you create. And not only is it the environment that you create, but it's the person who you are in that environment. Because one of the things that was rolling around in my head as I was, just coming up with this particular concept to talk about, one of the things that was rolling around in my head was the fact that, a lot of people say, or a lot of people, hang on to the phrase, bringing something to the table. And I get that. What is it that you bring to the table? Some people will counter that statement by saying that I'm building the table for something, for you to bring something to. And I understand that, but let's get bigger than the table. What is the environment that the table is sitting in? Because it doesn't matter if you bring something to a table. The environment in which the table is existing in is more important than the table itself. because you have to have curated and cultivated an environment in which something or someone will feel like they can bring something to the table that is in that environment. And this is what Jingle has taught me, because, you know, and we've only had this kitten for a few days, but I'm already learning, because if we did not have things in our environment, in our home life, an environment that she is completely, new to, she doesn't know anything about this. If we did not have items that were specifically there for her, then she would not know what to do with herself, which could potentially make her more anxious, more nervous, more scared, because there are things that we're used to, but not things that she's used to. And we want to make it as comforting and as reassuring as possible, so that way she can live her best cat life. And so it's the environment. It's the environment. What environment are you going to create? What environment do you have already? Are there things in your environment that you have control over, that you can actually make better? Are there things that you can remove? Are there things that you can add? Because if you are going to invite people into this space, then you need to make sure that your environment, the one that you preside over, is curated. So that way, when others come into this space, they can also feel at home. Because again, like I said just a couple of moments ago, I'm all for people bringing things to the table. Bring your best self, your A game, all of that. Bring it to the table. I welcome it. But I also want to make it known, and I want to stress the importance of the environment in which the table presides. Because in my head, that's more important than the table itself. And a lot of people aren't even considering that aspect of it. We're focusing on the table, and we're not focusing on everything that's around the table. You know what I mean? Because think about it like this: if there's a table inside of a volcano, sitting on a rock, surrounded by lava, you can jump through hoops and basically parkour your way over to the table in order to place something on it. But you're having to do all this extra work because the environment in which the table is in the volcano. You know what I mean? And so you could get burned, you could die either way just by trying to bring something to the table. And that is a lot of work. That's a lot of work for, something that is not even going to yield the benefits that you think it would. And I feel like that's a lot of people's relationships. Even now, the table is inside of a volcano and you're having to do all this free running and jumping and dodging, trying not to get burned by the lava in order to bring what you think is worthy of being placed on that table, without realizing that this person placed the table in a volcano and is expecting you to put something on it saying, what do you bring to the table? Like, bruh, you put the table in a volcano. You shouldn't even go anywhere near that table, because think about the environment in which that table sits in. Like, y'all, I am literally learning this from a kitten. I am. I'm learning this from a kitten. Because we believed it to be important, to be vital enough that we have things that are specifically for our kitten to make her feel welcome, to continue to foster that trust with us as her new family. We specifically wanted to make sure that she was good, that she had her own places to go in our house, because she's going to be an indoor cat. That's there's no doubt about it, because I'm not about to pay no high vet bills just for her to step outside and mess around, step on a blade of grass and get a parasite. Like she is she is domesticated cat, so she is going to be indoors. But while she's there, I want her to be able to live the best way that she can, and to grow and to thrive. I want her to be able to be acclimated to this environment to where she feels safe, because, as the days continue to go on, she continues to have more energy. She continues to have, more compassion and it's weird for me to say compassion about an animal, but I believe, just from experiencing this kitten, that animals do feel a lot more than what we may even believe. Now, again, I'm not saying I'm an animal rights activist, but this kitten is showing me that there are layers to her that are slowly being broken down. And she is beginning to open up to us more and more, and it's a beautiful thing to experience, because now I look at it like, I am so sorry. My alarms keep going off because it is 7 a.m. So I do apologize. But at the same time, just thinking about like wondering like where she has been, like how come we didn't have her sooner? How come we didn't bring her sooner? And I don't know. For me, it's just an awesome feeling just to know that we have this new addition to our family, and she trusts us. She loves us. She loves to just be up under us. Just she loves to play with us, and we are responsible, and we are giving her the things that she needs, so that way she can grow big and strong. And I feel like not just on the animal side, but even on the human side, we have to have those environments that can nurture those things about all of us. We have to also focus on the environment that we are creating. There's a phrase, saying, that somebody is a product of their environment. And in many ways, I believe that a lot of people are products of their environments. It's not a hard concept to understand. And so if you have any control, if you have any say-so in how your environment is being set up, then make sure that you are doing everything you can to create the best possible environment that allows for people and animals, if you have animals, to thrive and to survive and to feel loved and to feel wanted and to feel accepted, Because if you leave aspects of it out, like if our kitten came into our house and didn't have anything that she recognized at all, then I can only imagine the levels of anxiety that would course through her body. Just imagine if we did not give our kitten the things that she needed. How would she survive? I can only imagine all of the different types of behaviors that would come about from her not having the things that she needs, and the things that we would have to do extra in order to correct those behaviors. So why not start it off right by creating the environment that will allow her to thrive? Like it's really not that hard to understand. And, just going through this learning process over the last couple of days, it's shown me so much about not only her, but about myself. because I find myself wanting to learn more about how she is and why she is. And it makes me want to learn more about the best ways to take care of her, the best things to feed her, learning her circadian rhythm, and doing things that will, get her used to the normal routine in our house. And, it's such a wonderful experience. But at the same time, I'm also realizing that we got to put in the work. We got to put in the work so that way she feels at home in this environment. And that's the goal. I want her to be able to grow up alongside of us as a member of our family. I want her to be able to call us in her cat mind, her humans, and we're even coaching our daughter through this, because it's like, no, you can't always run away. She moves fast because she's a cat. And she wants to love on you as much as she wants to love on us. And my daughter is becoming more and more comfortable with, being close with the kitten and, just petting her and picking her up. And it's a magical thing to see, because, it's day by day, there are things happening, and it's all because we have taken the time to create an environment where Jingle can survive, where she can thrive, where she can be loved and she can express herself. And so I hope that everyone is thinking about their environment and the environment they have the power to create, because it truly does make an impact. So with that being said, y'all, that is the main thing that I am learning in this process. Learning that when it comes to your environment, when you have control over it, you are responsible for making that environment the best it can be. Because, I can sit here and I can talk about, how this affects the mindset of our kitten. But as people, we also have to remember that the environment we have control over is what's going to set the tone for a lot of our relationships, even our relationships with ourselves. And so, take time to specifically curate your environment to give you the things that you want to feel, to give you the things that you need. And if you have the ability to do so, then do it. You are not going to go wrong in creating an environment that gives you what you need. And when it comes to other people, don't even worry about the table. The table isn't even important. It's the environment in which the table sits in. I know I've said that a lot, but I want to really just impress that upon you, because for me, this was something that when I thought about it, I was like, oh my God, wow. And so I can only hope that, our little kitten Jingle brings more lessons that I'll be able to communicate with you all. I really do feel like a cat dad. I'm a cat daddy now. But at the same time, I love it. And I really hope that you all take this information to heart. Consider your environment. And if you have control over that, make sure it's an environment that's worth being in. So with that being said, y'all, that is our show. As you already know, you know where to find us. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review if your podcast service allows you to do so. We really appreciate that. And we appreciate everybody's support, especially, with the 2020 OKC People's Choice Awards coming up. Thank you to everybody that took some time to vote. So, as you already know, whoever you are, wherever you are, I want you to always make sure to be more introspective and vulnerable with yourself. Know who you are, love who you are, and trust in who you are. Once again, I want to thank all of you for listening. I've been your host, Rashawn, and I hope that you make every effort to find and keep your peace. Till next time.